Okay, so we'll call the meeting to order. It is March 28th, 4:15, I think. And of the Livermore Amador Valley Transit Authority Finance and Administration Committee meeting. This meeting is a hybrid meeting of Zoom and in person. And do I need to read the full disclosure? Or are we good?
I think we'll do a roll call of members first. Is that right, Jen?
Okay, I was gonna, that's next. Okay, then can I go ahead and get a roll call?
Okay, Director Hernandez.
I'm present.
Chair Testa.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay. Do we have any members of the public to speak?
So we don't have any members of the public here in the room today, and I didn't receive anything via email.
Okay, great. Then we are, we need to approve the minutes from February 28th.
Hernandez will approve the minutes for February 28th, 2023 for the FNA committee.
Okay, and I will second that. Do we need a roll call on that?
Yes, Director Hernandez.
Aye.
Chair Testa.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, then moving on to item 5, treasurer's report.
Okay, thank you. So before you is the treasurer's report for February 2023. As you can see, all of our cash accounts are very healthy at this time. Our expenses are at 48.48, just under 50% of our budget. So we're well below budget. That's kind of expected because we are not running as much service as we had budgeted due to driver shortage. We are still 3 months behind on paratransit billing. Our revenues, on the other hand, are at 77.7%. They tend to front load at the beginning of the year and then slow down the rest of the year. But that is why we have such a healthy cash flow. And I will take any questions.
Okay, any questions?
Oh, no, just a question of the paratransit. I think we had this issue last time, right?
We have been having this issue this entire fiscal year. And I spoke with the CFO at County Connection, who's our contractor. The problem is the billing from the subcontractor. They're apparently so wrong that when they get the bill, the CFO at County Connection, Amber, is having to return them multiple times. She won't submit us an incorrect bill. So she's having to go back to the subcontractor multiple times to get a correct bill to us. And that's why it's so far behind.
So does she have a date set of when she thinks she's gonna be able to get the subcontractor to be able to give the correct bills?
We're getting them slowly. But yeah, we're still 3 months behind, whereas last month we were 3 months behind. So we got another month's worth. But no, she doesn't seem to be having a lot of success getting them to understand what they need to do on the billing. So,
Yeah. So what do we have to do? Because normal businesses wouldn't do what we're doing.
right. And it
It's like there has to be a point where like, okay, we need to stop or
Right.
find another, I mean, and I'm sure that's a longer conversation, but most businesses would not be as lenient as we are.
Right. She's working with them. Cadre here is working with them. I mean, she's doing what she can. Our other option, of course, would be to go out to bid again, but that's like a year-long process. So other than pushing on them to, figure it out and get it right, there really isn't much else we can do.
Yeah, I'm just saying most agencies don't do that, but I mean, if we have to go and bid out for next year, then that's something that we need to look into it. This shouldn't happen all the time.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it's unfortunate because we're required to have the service. We just can't seem to, and they're doing the service, but for some reason they can't bill us to get paid for the service. It's very weird.
If I can jump in, it's a complicated contract. County Connection is our contractor, then they have a sub, and then that sub has a sub. So we have received some draft bills. We are behind. We're reviewing them. My expectation is once we get the bills correct, moving forward, we won't have this challenge. Once they figure out the methodology for figuring out which trips are ours and which trips are the 1-seat rides and that, But we have other challenges with this contract. So I am engaging with Cadre, and we'll be engaging with my colleague, Bill Churchill, who's the general manager of County Connection, if need be, if we can't get the performance up to where we want it to be, particularly the invoices.
Yeah, I just think that's something that we need to look into versus just saying, oh, we're gonna be 3 months behind. And I mean, I think there may be other issues instead of just accounting, so it'd be something to look into. All right.
Fortunately, when the contract was written, the person who was in charge of it at that time did not put in a, what would you call that? Where they would have to pay us for having a late bill. That's normally in our contracts. If the bill is late, it's, $50 a day or whatever. But our former director of operations took that out on this last contract. So when we go into the next year's contract, we can see about modifying it and adding that in there because it is fairly ridiculous that they can't get us a correct bill.
Yeah, but I mean, it's true, like they probably wouldn't be able to get away with it with other agencies. So just FYI. Thanks.
Okay. All right, well, then, let's see, we need, let's see, recommendation that we forward the treasurer's report to the board. So do we need a motion on
Yeah.
that?
I'll go, Hernandez will go ahead and move to send to the entire board.
And I'll second that.
Director Hernandez for roll call.
Aye.
Chair Testa.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, great. Item 6, approval of resolution authorizing staff to apply for TDA, STA, and RM2 funds for fiscal year 23-24.
Thank you. So this is something we have to do every year. These funds make up the majority of our operating budget. And how much of our budget on capital side varies every year based on what we've got going on. But this is probably about 70 to 75% of our operating revenues. And we, when we submit, after you approve the budget, we will submit the claim to get these funds. And part of that claim process is having the board approve these resolutions, acknowledging that the board is okay with staff applying for them.
Okay.
Okay, so do we, I need a motion to
Yes, please.
approve.
I'll go ahead and approve to send to the entire board.
Okay, and I'll second.
For roll call, Director Hernandez.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay. Item 7, exercise third option year of the contract with MB Transportation.
Thank you, Chair. I will take this item. Staff is requesting that the Finance Committee recommend that the board authorize the extension of the third option year of our fixed route contract with MV Transportation. So MV Transportation is under contract with us to provide bus operators and mechanics and to operate and maintain our fixed route service. We entered into this current contract with MV in 2018 for a base term of 3 years with 4 one-option years. This is our third option year that we are requesting your approval on. We are satisfied with MV's performance. They have been a great partner. They are recruiting actively, and we are wanting to extend our contract with them to carry us through fiscal 24. And with that, I can answer any questions.
Okay, any questions?
Yeah, no, I mean, it sounds like you answered it. I was just gonna ask to make sure that, you felt comfortable with their performance and, what they've been doing the last several years.
Yeah, definitely. There's always room for improvement, most definitely. But no, I think we're really excited to have our new general manager, Regina. We're excited to restore more 10R service here in a few weeks, and they hired some mechanics. So I think we've got a really good team going.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay,
If you don't have questions, I'll go ahead and move forward to have our contract renewed with MB to the entire board.
Okay, and so we need a vote, roll call. Oh, I second that. We need a roll call.
Yeah, roll call. Director Hernandez.
Aye.
Chair Testa.
Aye,
Motion passes.
okay. Item 8, fuel control system upgrade.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is David Matza. I am the Senior Fleet and Technology Management Specialist at the agency. And the reason I'm coming before you is to request that the Finance and Administration Committee recommend to the Board of Directors a contract to install, upgrade fuel control equipment, hardware, and software. Give you a little background. LAVTA has had the Ward fuel system in place since 2009. It was initially procured through an RFP, and Ward Fuels came out on top. The Ward fuel system is a combination of facility fuel dispensers, hardware, bus hardware, which also integrates into the electronic control system of the vehicle engines. The system is also controlled by hardware, which is physically mounted on site, and back-end software. This system allows fast and efficient, as well as secure fueling of the vehicles. Since 2009, it has functioned flawlessly. Unfortunately, though, in early 2022, as our buses were being assembled, the vehicle hardware portion became obsolete. So at this point in time, we have nothing on the buses. To give you a little background of how it works, when the bus pulls up to the fuel island, it passes over a ground sensor loop. This transmits the vehicle bus number, I'm getting tongue-tied. Vehicle mileage to the fuel dispenser, which then, in conjunction with the software, enables the fuel dispenser. Once fueling is complete, the fuel dispenser transmits the vehicle number, mileage, and the fuel dispensed into that vehicle to the back-end software system. From there, it is stored, as well as being exported from that fuel system into the agency's vehicle maintenance system, which helps keep everything up to date in that system as well. As part of our 2016 and 2017 bus procurements, the agency had Gillig install these Ward fuel systems hardware during the production process. During the pre-production meeting for the 2022 build, we had also specified that same hardware be installed. Unfortunately, as I said earlier, during the process, it was discovered that those hardware pieces are no longer available. Currently, the vehicles are fueled manually with the fuel washers entering in the vehicles, and the vehicle mileages by hand into the hardware, which is mounted on the island. After completing a cost analysis based upon all of the original bids, the price received from Ward Systems for the upgrade is deemed reasonable and fair. It also includes a CPI increase. Unfortunately, at the time that the 2023 budget was created, we were not aware of this impending update. However, we do have the funds in the 2023 budget that are being for other projects which are being deferred till 24. The initial cost for the upgrade is $127,963.58, with the first year as including software as a service. We've also requested a quote so that the total of 3 years of software as a service be paid upfront. Going forward from fiscal year 26, the cost for software as a service will be approximately $15,000 plus a CPI increase. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Any questions?
I don't have any questions. I mean, obviously, we need this device to make it a little bit easier for our bus drivers and everything and to check the status of everything. So I definitely, want to make sure that we have all we need to keep our buses up and running and the most efficient, technology out there as well.
Right, it's a security issue too. There's no way to steal fuel.
Okay, well, there's a new piece that wasn't in the staff report, because I did find it curious if we're currently fueling manually, so that is a reasonable alternative. It's just convenience, this software and this, but you say security as well. How is security increased with this?
Well, and before the system was in place, basically you could pull any vehicle up to our fuel dispensers, insert the nozzle, turn on the fuel pump and go. And then the only way we would figure out if any fuel was missing was to do a comparison of fuel used versus fuel being put into the tanks. And then we would have little to no way of determining where it went. We have sensors that also monitor leakage for the tanks. So, instead of creating a big issue, this helps us to say, okay, every month we've used this much fuel, we've received this much fuel, this is how much was put into the buses, is it equal?
Okay. Do we have reason to believe that when this software wasn't installed, that there was pilfering of fuel? Is that something that was an issue?
Probably not as much as you would think, because we use what's called red dyed diesel. Were you to put this into anything but an off-highway vehicle or a government issued vehicle, you could be if you were pulled over and your fuel checked, which does happen a lot more than you think on diesel vehicles, that person would not only be fined, their vehicle would be impounded.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Oh,
It
interesting.
is.
I've not heard of that.
Isn't it that particular fuel more expensive too?
Red dye fuel is actually less expensive because it does not include taxes.
Sorry, just to correct that, it does not include federal excise tax. We pay all the other taxes.
Right, we pay sales tax, but we don't pay the
Tax,
federal
yeah.
one.
Yeah, yes, just to be clear.
No. I don't want to make anybody
Yeah, because when you see
second guess.
taxes for it in the budget,
Right, we pay sales tax to the state of California.
All right. So one more clarification. So the initial cost is the 127,000 and change.
900.
Right. And then the 15,000 per year is just the cost of living increase, or?
No, that's the software as a service. Instead of, at this point in time, all of the data and the software systems are housed inside LAVTA's network. Going forward, it will all be cloud-based and it'll all be housed and maintained by Ward Fuel Systems. They no longer offer the on-site software option.
Okay, so the discovering that the software is obsolete, is that we see sometimes companies deliberately obsolete their software to require upgrades. Is that what's going on, or? Oh, the smirk. That's a yes.
I can't lie. It's one of my pet peeves, but yes, you're absolutely correct.
Okay, well, I heard it in your voice in the report as well, so, okay. All of a sudden becoming obsolete. Okay, well, that's good.
As an IT guy, I hate leasing software, and that's essentially what you're doing. And unfortunately, it is the way of the world these days. Nobody lets you buy anything. They will only let you lease it.
Right. Okay.
Office 365, Adobe, you name it.
By the way, on TikTok, there's great ways of getting around that. But anyway,
I don't want to know that. I don't want to know that.
May not be legal.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I guess the implication is that it will happen again, that there will be ongoing designed obsolescence.
Yeah.
So is that to be expected? And then I guess, I think rather than doing that, having an understanding of the commitment from the company of when it would need to be replaced would be more honest.
Well, to be honest with you, the software as a service kind of eliminates that because you're paying them every year for the latest, greatest, most updated software they have. To use Office 365 again as an option, you never have to upgrade it. You're always getting the best Microsoft has to offer. You're paying for it every month. So instead of budgeting for 5 years at a time, which I've always done for our office, we currently use Office 2019. Assuming that it's available in 2024, I will upgrade again. Every 5 years, I like to upgrade. I may not have that option on other parts of our network. For instance, our Exchange server. We have the latest, greatest offering in Exchange 2019. I've been told by our network engineer that that's it. They're not going to do it anymore. They're going to force you to get Office 365 to get Exchange server.
Okay.
So to answer your question, I'm sorry I went a little off subject there. Supposedly, the software as service eliminates that planned obsolescence.
Okay, all right, well, that's good to hear.
If I could just chime in that we will be, converting to hydrogen here in the very near future. So I'm certain there will be new technologies and new softwares that will be needed to monitor that energy source. So I just wanted to, we're busy trying to get our money for Atlantis. We're working on our hydrogen fueling station project. And so I think, how long Ward Systems is in play here, I don't know if they have a hydrogen product, but
There is this, in the budget for the hydrogen system, there's something similar for the hydrogen fueling station when we install it. I mean, we'll have to have a diesel one as long as we have the 2016. And I'll just speak to the budget. This is in the 10-year capital plan. It was just a few years out. So we were moving it to 2023, but we have some projects that were supposed to be done in 2023 that haven't been done. So they will get moved to 2024.
And if I may interject a little bit as well, I did mention to Ward Fuel Systems when they were putting this quote together that we were going to move to hydrogen. And they say they do anticipate having a module available to monitor hydrogen as well. They know it's the way of the future. Diesel is not going to be here forever. So they don't want to plan their own obsolescence.
Great, all right.
Yeah, no, it's true. We were just in Sacramento, talking about hydrogen and grants that are being put forward with the state. So yeah, you're definitely correct on that.
Okay, so because I am new to this, then we will have a full conversion to hydrogen. It won't be some vehicles and some vehicles. It'll be complete and full.
that is the current plan that our board, sorry, Dave, I'm just going to jump in. The plan that our board approved, I think a year ago, does fully convert the fleet to hydrogen by 2034, I think. So it's a slow replacement of our diesel or our hybrid buses with the newest hydrogen buses, beginning, fingers crossed, in 2025. We need to do some work here to retrofit our facility. We need our hydrogen fueling station and all of our hydrogen suppliers, lots of work to do. But yeah, so 2025, we are scheduled to purchase 12 hydrogen buses.
Wow.
And then, I'll send you the plan, Julie, so you can read it. It's great. It's very bold, and it gets us ahead of the state's mandate by 6 years. The state requires us to be zero emissions by 2040. So our board has taken a really aggressive approach, and I think that's wonderful. And yeah, so it's a whole new world. It's gonna be
And
fun.
we have the budget to be able to purchase that many new vehicles all at once.
Not all at once. So we're buying 12, and we do have money from the federal government for about 80% of it. So MTC programs that they're given control of some money based on the UZAs every year. And so we are in their plan for that for 2025, which will actually probably push the money out to 2026, but, so it's 80% of it. We do have in the budget, the local match the other 20%. We actually budget 25% just because what they're estimating the buses to cost, we think are gonna cost a little bit more. And then in our 10-year plan, we have the next round of buses. So we're required to keep buses purchased with federal money for 12 years. So this will replace, these buses are replacing the 07s and 09 buses. No, we just replaced the 07 and 09s, right, Dave? Yeah, sorry, these will replace that's right, the buses purchased in 2011. The next set of buses were the 2016s, so those will be purchased in roughly 28, 29, and then 2017 is the following year. So we should actually, yeah, we should be done by before 20, yeah.
Yeah, just to answer your question, we will not replace them all at once. We will do like you initially thought. We will have a mixed fleet for a while. And then as our buses age out every 12 years, instead of replacing them with diesel technology, they'll be replaced with hydrogen technology.
Okay, you know what, I feel a bit better about that we're gonna get pulled out of our existing buses. We won't be letting them go until we've gotten our full life expectancy from those.
Right.
I think.
Correct. We're required to by the FTA.
Cool, something government did right, yeah.
Well, and LAVTA, we have been known
guys, I don't-
to
we're
use
getting
our
off
vehicles
subject
for
here.
a long time.
Guys, we're getting off
Okay,
subject.
all right. All right, so good. Then we need a recommendation to forward this to the board.
I will go ahead and recommend fuel control system upgrade to the rest of the entire board.
And I'll second that. Roll call.
Director Hernando,
Aye.
Chair Testa,
Aye,
motion passes.
Thank you, ladies.
thank you.
Welcome.
You have a good evening. Okay, so preview of upcoming committee agenda items.
Well, I think from what we were listening to just a couple minutes ago, since we have new board members, Christy, may want to brief them on our hydrogen buses and what the timeline is. Kind of get an update on, for Evan and for
Sure.
Councilmember Testa, so that they kind of just, and I know it does have to do with financial because it has money involved. But it would probably be a good item to bring up to the entire board so everybody hears it all at once.
Okay. Absolutely.
I would appreciate that then. Thank you. So anything else on this item?
No.
Next
We're able to make our meeting.
Okay,
next month, I'll be bringing you the budget. It will hopefully be ready in time, so that it can be approved by the board in May. That's a requirement so that we can do the claim for the STA, TDA, and RM2 funds. If we don't get that in to MTC in May, our money doesn't start rolling until September, October. So hopefully I will be able to bring you the budget next month. And then the month after that will be this salary study and organizational review. So I think that's the only exciting stuff we have coming up the next few months.
Okay, great.
okay, great. Then we can move on to item 10, right? Matters initiated by committee members. Do we have any matters initiated?
I have no numbers.
I have no matters. So we'll move on to item 11. Next meeting date is April 25th. And I suspect the next item is to adjourn. So we are adjourned.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for attending in person, Melissa.
I was
You've done. You've done.